Right, here we are again. You know what happens mainly in the wintertime? Mainly the wintertime is when I decide to get a load of old things to get running again. I don't know why, I do it to myself. Because it's cold in the wintertime. And this time I've got no heater in here. Anyway, as always, a little bit of a backstory to go along with this cardboard box, because the cardboard box needs a backstory. So, I was doing a bit of surfing a couple of weeks ago. No, it wasn't. It was a few days ago. Probably about a week ago. I was doing a bit of surfing. Surfing the net, as you do in these modern terms, these modern days. And looking for something completely unrelated. Well, kind of unrelated, really. Couldn't really find it, so I ended up on eBay. As you always do, end yourself up on eBay, don't you? When you can't find something, go on eBay. It'll probably be there. There was a time when I said I'm not going to go on eBay anymore because I don't agree with their terms and the way they do things now. I don't sell on there, but now and again I do go there to buy stuff because, well, it's where it's at, isn't it? You know, there's weird and wonderful things on there. Anyway, it ended up giving me a load of boats. Like, you know how it works. Everything's listening to you these days, somehow. And it just started recommending boats. RC boats. That's what one of these. There should be a boat in here. And I thought, you know how it goes. Go down the rabbit hole, didn't you? I thought I'll have a look at some of them. So I'm having a look at some of these boats, and I see this one come up. And it was far too much money. So I went away from it, kept going and going and looking, and I thought, I need to stop looking at boats. I'm not here to look at a boat. Don't want a boat. Anyway, that one kept coming back. Yeah, I know how it works. I'm not stupid. But sometimes you can't resist it, can you? So I sent him a message, asking a few questions about it, and said, would he take an offer? And he said, what's your offer? I told him my offer, thinking that he was going to say no, because it was extremely low ball. Extremely low ball compared to what his asking price was. But he's cleverer than me, because he turned around and he said yes. So I said, oh, right, okay, well, fair enough, I'm a man of my word, let's go for it. So I've got a boat. Yeah, I know. Imagine you've gone to Domino's to feed your family of 4. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've overpaid slightly. Well, I might not have overpaid slightly. We'll have a look. Let's see what's in it. We'll have a look. We'll open it up and we'll see. I might have ended up with a jolly good deal. Probably not. But maybe. There is... Usually, I don't normally get too many bad things from eBay. Oh, by the way, I should say that it's relatively sight unseen. I did glance through the pictures, but I'd already decided that if I do end up buying it, I don't want to know too much about it, because I like doing all this blind. Do you know what I mean? It's something fun about unboxing something slightly blind, not really knowing what you're getting. You've got an idea, but you don't really know. I don't ever study the pictures to the T like some people do, because I want the mystery. So I do know what it is. I don't know whether I've put it in the title at this point, so I don't want to say what it is yet. We'll leave it a surprise, but I might have put it in the title and you might know what it is. I don't know. I just don't know. Everything I do is completely winging it. So I don't know whether I've planned or decided to put the title in the put the name of it in the title. I don't know, but it would appear that the person that I bought this from has an abundance of kitchen paper, because, well, even the tube that the kitchen paper came with, or came on, look at that, blimey. Don't think I've ever... Well, I'm not going to be short with kitchen paper for a while. Where can I put it? Let's put it over here. Wow. This is... Ooh! This is looking good. Look at this. Do you want to hear a funny story? I'll tell you a funny story, right? It's just come into my head. As I'm pulling this out now, I'm seeing this boat, right? And I've got a story. Let's get the boat out and I'll tell you a story, right? Let's get this out. Oh, it's even come with the little fueling bottle. That's handy because I've lost my one. I was digging around after I'd ordered this. I thought, right, I'm going to need the bottle, I'm going to need this. I was digging around everywhere for all my old boating stuff, and I don't know where it's all gone. That's a familiar story, isn't it? My trouble is I give stuff to people at the spare of the moment. Just, oh yeah, I've got that. Yeah, you can have it, whatever. Or I sell stuff, or I put stuff somewhere. I put stuff over there, I put stuff over there. You know, and I just forget. And it's just, yeah. So sometimes I don't know where things are. We've got loads and loads and loads of... God, there must be about 6 rolls of kitchen paper in there. That's cool. That is cool. Right, here we go. I was hoping that it would come with this little stand thing, but it doesn't. Anyway, we'll have a look. We'll have a look inside it, but I want to tell you this story because... the memories. The memories of this story, right? So, I was about... What was I? I reckon I was about 17 or 18 years old. I didn't long pass my driving test. I know that for a fact. So, anyway, it was a reasonably warm summer's day, right? And I didn't have many friends, but we used to go out sometimes with the cars, RC cars, Nitro cars. I had a couple of electric drift cars and things. We'd go over to multi-storey car park, Savage 21, all that kind of stuff, right? I had a couple of boats, a couple of Nitro boats. And I only had one friend that really liked the Nitro boats. But even he weren't really that interested. Usually just me on my own. Anyway, one day, we decided that the next day we'd go down to a pond. It's a bit of a local pond. You sort of park in this little bit and then you walk down this quite wide gravel track. Overhanging trees and stuff. You walk down there, and then to your right there's a, well, to the left there was a track goes round and you can walk dogs and things. It's like a nature reserve or whatever. And on the right there was a pond, quite a big pond. We used to go in there with rubber dinghies and stuff and float around, and probably stuff that we really shouldn't have been doing as, well, we're teenagers, so I suppose we was adults. But anyway, so it also had a couple of jetties, you know, like where you fish from. There wasn't any like boat ramps, it was just a pond. It wasn't a lake, it was a reasonably sized pond, I suppose. And had a couple of them jetties, had loads and loads of reeds around the edges at the far end and around the right hand side, but the left hand side just had like those grass banks where ducks come up, you know, whack, 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 like really shallow grassy banks with really low grass and all the duck shit all over the floor. You know how it goes, don't you? And ducks everywhere. All over the place. And yeah, so jetties and stuff. It was only me that went on that one Sunday because my friend, I don't know what happened, I can't remember that much. My memory's not that good, but I know it was just me. Anyway, so got there, had my boat in my hands and everything, and I had a little backpack and that with my fuel and whatever. Now, if there's ever anyone fishing, I never went on the water because it might scare the fish, you know? You've got to think of other people. So I looked around, there wasn't anybody on the jetties. It must have been early. I know it was the morning. I reckon it must have been early, knowing me, probably 7 or 8 o'clock. It was a summer's day, so it was bright, you know, properly daytime. And and so anyway, I looked around to see if there was no one around, no one fishing, no night fishers, didn't see any tents, didn't see any people, the jetty things, there's no one on them, you know, a few ducks, whack, 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 that's it. So I set everything up, put it on the side, blah, 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 fired it up, right, put the shell, the lid thing on it and everything, started going round the pond, because you can't really do a lot with boats. I mean, they are quite boring, to be fair. Yeah, you can just sort of go around and stuff. You know, you can do jumps if you want. You can stick a jump in the water. You can do. We've done that a few times with a pallet and stuff. Put a 25-litre jerry cans, tied them to an old pallet, floated that out in the pond. get yourself a jump. Only trouble is, you can't control a boat when it's in the air like you can a car. You know, the boat, it just does what it does, and sometimes it lands upside down and whatever else. Anyway, that's a different story. So, going round with my boat around this pond, and all of a sudden, I don't know how long I was doing it for. It doesn't feel long in my memory, maybe a couple of minutes. All of a sudden, I just see this big ruffle in the reeds over there, tall reeds, you know. I just see this big ruffle. And it caught my eye, and I thought, what was that in the reeds, ruffling around? Anyway, so I wasn't looking at the boat at the time, I was looking at the reeds. What's that? Anyway, couldn't see nothing, so I looked back at the boat, and I noticed the boat was sort of like that in the water, you know, like it was proper dipping down in the water, and I thought to myself, and I give it a bit of full throttle, and it was really sluggish. It was going along, but it was really sluggish. And I thought, what's funny? And I noticed that behind there's like this thing, quite far back, something was ruffling around in the water. And I thought, well, I've caught something, but what? I don't know. And I didn't see anything. But so what I done was I brought the boat in, managed to get the boat to come in. I did think it was going to sink. I thought, because it was starting to go like that, it was going, it was properly like dipping down at the back, and I was thinking it's going to sink. Anyway, I managed to get it back to me, because I'm on like the grass verge thing where the ducks come in, like slopey verge that goes into the pond, you know, where the ducks sort of walk up. And I got the boat to me, I pulled the boat out, and round the back of the rudder, on the back of the rudder around here, luckily not on the propeller, because if it got on the prop, I would have been in trouble. I wouldn't have been able to go nowhere. I would have jammed it up, stalled the engine, that would have been it. Would have been stuck out there. I didn't have a dinghy with me on that day. Usually when we go out on the water, I have a little dinghy. So if the boat gets stranded out in the water, we go in the dinghy, get it back. Or with the slow boats, we have a bit of rope tied to it, but that's a different story. Anyway, so it was just caught on the rudder, which is why it was difficult to steer. Bit of fishing line it was. So I got the boat, pulled the fishing line, and connected to the fishing line was a rod, wasn't it? Proper rod with a reel on it and everything. So there's me on the side of the pond, pulling in this fishing line. I've just got the rod, just got it in my hands, and I'm like, oh, bloody fishing rod. And I heard, oi! Oh man, I can still hear his little voice now. Oi! In the distance, I've looked around, right, and there's this man. He's got his hat, wide brimmed hat on. You know those vests that fishermen wear with all the pockets and stuff. And yeah, all green, you know, walking along, going, oi! Walking. It's going round the pond, round there, coming up to me, and I thought, well, it's obvious I've caught his rod somehow, but couldn't see him nowhere. I was like, where did he come from? Turns out he was in the reed, not in the reeds, but he was like, the reeds sort of go round, but then it looks like the reeds just go round the pond, but they don't. It's one of those illusions because they all look the same. The reeds go round, but then it kind of goes in to the bank. There's not a jetty, or there wasn't a jetty or anything in there, but it was like another bank. And he was sitting on there in the reeds, obviously trying to catch the fish that go in the reeds, I suppose. Anyway, yeah, so he must have cast his line out. I obviously didn't see that. It was in the pond, past the reeds, and I've just caught it, dragged it in, whoosh, off goes his rod and everything. Anyway, from memory, he was slightly angry, but he wasn't properly angry. He was just like, you've got my rod! You've got my rod, you have! You've got my rod! Yeah, he helped me untangle it from the rudder. Luckily it weren't bad. Memories, 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 man. Bloody memories. Anyway, now I've bored you to death with a story that you probably didn't really find funny, but to me it was. More nostalgia, really. A bit like the time when we had buggies and we was out in the field. I've told the story before. and my mate had his buggy, Nitro buggy, and for some reason the throttle got stuck and it went straight into a kid's bike, and the kids fell off. Kids fell off, and the buggy's underneath the bike. The buggy's going beep because the throttle was stuck open for some reason, and the wheels have come off the ground a bit. It's going beep. The bike's on top of it. The kid's underneath, in between the car and the bike. He's come running across. I've told that story before. But anyway, so many memories. Let's. I'm going to move you onto the table. We'll have a look at this boat, and we will try. We might try, depending on the condition of it. We'll see if we can get it to fire up. Will this boat run? I haven't got a clue. Let's find out. Ah, dear. Sorry if I bore you to death with my little stories, but I like telling the story, man. I like memories. All right, let's turn it around this way. I would like to say I was hoping it was going to come with the little stand thing, because like I say, I can't find any of my boating stuff. There is some somewhere. I don't know where it is. Yeah, looks like quite a nice boat. This is a Airstreak, by the way, a 500 GP. These were released at some point in 2006, if I'm correct, from memory. I think it was around 2006. Could be wrong. They did an electric version and a nitro version. This one being the nitro version because I only do nitro. And on the outside it looks reasonably good. It doesn't appear to be any cracks in the hull. What's that? Is that a crack? No, that's just a scratch. It's definitely been well used, I would say. Move that out of the way. Yeah, it's definitely been well used, but it appears to be in reasonably good condition. There's a crack on the top. There's a bit of a crack there where the steering comes in. Looks like that may have been repaired at some point on the back there, near the prop. But I reckon that would be a good floater. So, what have we got on the inside? We've got a sticker there for nitro fuel. I used to do that, stick the stickers on everything. 16%. Wow! This seems like it's in reasonably good condition. Let's zoom you in a little bit and move you like that. So they've obviously... Oh, maybe they haven't. I was going to say they've obviously tried to get... There's no transmitter with it. Maybe they haven't, because either these batteries have leaked or there's nitro or something all over the place. It seems to be complete. Let the pull start. Is the engine going to turn over? Let's see. Ready? Oh, it does. I need to get that prop off there. It does. The pull start's very, very sticky. Doesn't really want to go in. Let's turn that. There we go. Fuel tank looks like all right. Now, I don't know a lot as much about boats as I do cars. Back in the day, I literally just fired it up, went sailing. It was as simple as that. If it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't. Did I care? No. Should I have cared? Probably. But to be honest, I think that looks alright. Alright then. So what we'll do, we'll see if we can get it to fire up. I've got to try and find some sort of... Well, that might be alright. I might be able to have it like that. I've got to try and find some sort of stand because the prop is directly connected. So I need to be able to... Well, I don't want the prop to be banging on the table because it'll become... and it might damage it more than anything else. So bear with me a minute. I'm just going to go and see if I can find something to hold it steadily. And then we'll see if we can get this to fire up. Maybe we'll be able to free this pull start. I think this has got a little 15. I think this is a 15 engine, this Kyosho. Yeah, it turns over reasonably well. The pull start is extremely sticky though, look. We might have to take the pull start off and give it a bit of a clean. Because what I reckon has probably happened, nitro has been either leaked in here or it's been spilt in here, and the nitromethane and all the other stuff has evaporated and left the oil behind, because there's a lot of very sticky oil over everything. Shall we see while we're here? Look, shall we see if the hold on. Blimey. Let's see if the glow plug is going to work. Oh my, yeah, I need to get some sort of stand. That's not going to work very well. Bear with me a minute, gotta find a bit of wood. Right, so I've got this wooden stand off of one of the other boats. It actually fits it quite well. It doesn't fit it very good, but it fits alright. Anyway, so let's have a look to see whether this glow plug is going to be any good. Yes, very sticky. Everything is very, very sticky. I reckon definitely the case is 100% without a doubt that loads of nitro has been spilt on the inside of this boat. Now, either this glow starter's flat or this glow plug is no good. So let's try another glow starter. Oh, I reckon the glow plug is not going to be a lot of cop. There's 2 glow starters now. Let's try a third one. We try a third one and it still doesn't glow. We know that that's the problem. Yeah, that doesn't glow. So we need a new glow plug, which we can do. We can soon sort that out. What we got in here? So that's a fast tracks, but that's a turbo plug. We don't want a turbo plug, do we? That one should fit. Oh, I tell you what, it's bloody nippy. It's bloody nippy today. It's bloody nippy there, Johnny boy. Should we let's warm up this. Oh, missing the battery. Where's the battery gone? Oh, it's here. Let's warm up this pull start and see if it loosens up a bit, because it is quite nippy. It's about -1 degrees outside. I don't know what it is in this garage. But let's warm the pull start up a little bit. It might get the oil that's seeped in there. That whole pull start, the string, the whole lot's all completely covered in it, and it might let it retract a bit. Yeah, look, it's getting easier. It's retracting faster, and we need it to retract somewhat quickly if we're going to try and start it. That's better. It's going in a lot better now. Look at that. Yeah, there we go. Starting to warm up. That's better. Don't know whether it would be easier to get a pull start for this, but we can soon give it a go. I'll have a look around and see if I can get some parts for it. I'd like to get this into a proper nice boat. Proper nice working nitro boat. Providing the engine's alright, but we can get marine engines, that's no trouble. Oh yeah, we're starting to really go now. Some of you are going to be shouting at the screen about me turning the engine over, with it being sat for God knows how many years. By the way, I did forget to mention this. The listing said that it's been sat in a shed for God knows how many years. So yeah, it has been sat in a shed for a long time, and I did just turn the engine over quite a lot without any oil in it, but that's all right. There is a lot of play on that engine mount, but I think it's because, yeah, it's just because the the engine mount bolts are loose. Well, that's working out pretty well. It's a bit nippy, and I can't feel the ends of my fingers, but that's okay, John. Who the hell is actually John? Who is John? I've never worked it out. He's everywhere, but I don't know who he is. Maybe one day I'll work out exactly who this John is. And yeah, we'll go from there. John. Who is John? Anyway, let's put this glow plug in here. Oh, we definitely got compression, yo. We've got compression, yo. Yes, we have. We've got compression. This is going to be a serious matter. So let's put a little bit of nitro. Should we put some nitro in this bottle? Look. Wow, this is a bit different to my old one that I had, but I don't know what's happened to that. But we should be able to stuff a little bit in the carburetor there, and we'll know if it's going to fire then. And then if it fires, we'll be alright. Now this, what I've got here is a mixture of all different types, all different brands, all different percentages of nitro. And what happens is, if I get a car and it's posted to me, or I pick it up or do whatever, it comes to me with a tank full of nitro. Usually I'll just start it up and burn it off. But sometimes I have to take the tank off or do something, so I just suck the tank out with this and it all just mixes up. This is like the mixture of nitro. There's a little bit of what looks like water in there. Don't know if that's water or what that is, but we'll mop it up with a bit of this kitchen paper that came with it. And then we'll pour a little bit of nitro in there. Like that. And we'll put the lid on. Now this is going to be extremely handy because I'll be able to squirt it straight into the carburation unit. Like that. Well, the idea is that I should be able to anyway. That's it. Oh, there he goes. Whoa! Far too much. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Right. Now, I don't really know how you're supposed to set your boats up, but I used to have the tick over quite high, because what happens is when you put it into water, because the prop is directly connected to the engine, if you have the tick over quite low, you put it in the water and it'll stall the engine. But anyway, we'll settle it up later on, because I can already tell that when you do that, it closes the carburetor completely, and that will probably not run very well when it goes in water. But let's warm up the block. Warm the block up, and we'll, yeah, simple as that. Obviously, you'll notice, those of you that already know about boats, you'll know why. But those of you that don't, you'll notice that there's no head with fins on, because they're cooled by the water in the pond or wherever it is you're sailing your boat. So it should suck up water, go around that little head, and then blow it out again normally. So we won't be running it very long until we've got it in a bucket or something, a pond, and we can feed some water into it. And let's warm it up. What's the time? 6:45 on a Friday night. What a lovely day. I'm hungry. I'm waiting for everyone to come home, and then we can go and have some dinner. I don't know what we're going to have, but we'll have a bit of dinner. Right, place your bets. Is she going to run? Who knows? Let's put the old glow starter on now. Alright, here we go. Oh, the engine might come out. That ran really well. Oh, I should have put a cloth there. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you say, Orinoco, you didn't put your normal cloth? Because I always put a cloth or a bit of rag there to stop the exhaust blowing all over me drawers. So I've got oily drawers now. Right, there we go. That ran really well. So the next step is to fill up our little tank. We can either do it through that one or we can do it through that one. That one should have a filter, so we'll do it through this one. I know you're all going to have your own little ways and you're all going to say, you should never do that, you should never, but that happens all the time and I'm used to that kind of thing. So let's fill up our tank. Really, I should take that off of there. There we go. We've got probably about a quarter of a tank of nitro now. So what I can do is I can check. Let's get a bit more of this kitchen paper. I can make sure we've not got any jelly in. Well, I can't check the card, but I can make sure there's no jelly in the pipes. So I can blow down this one, which is the pressure pipe, and I can see if anything comes out of that one. Let me zoom you in a little bit so that you can get an idea of what's actually going on. Ready? Right, so we haven't got enough nitro in there to actually pick it up. We're gonna have to stick a bit more in there, John. Who is John? Can you please explain to me who John is? Let's see if it'll go down that one. Wow, it just comes out of there. It's coming out of there anyway, look, can you see it? This tank it's got a reusable cable tie on it, look. So you can take it off if you want. Right, so that goes around there like that. This looks like the original pipes. Blimey. Oh, Riley. Are you serious? That is far too much. Let's take a little bit of this out like that. There we go. Wipe it up. Oh look, it's gone everywhere. Oh, dearie me. Absolutely everywhere. Just what I wanted. This boat will go really well. This will clean up really well, I reckon. Right. How long are we going to run for now, do you reckon? Long or not long? Let's find out. Probably not long, because I don't think it's going to pick much up. Right. Here we go. Where's the... Need to put a bit more nitro in there, really, I think. I don't think it's picking it up. I can't feel the ends of my fingers. It really is that nippy today. Can't feel the ends of my fingers. Oh, there's part of the finger. Yeah, we can clean up this tank. Kyosho, yeah, it's the original tank as well. That's handy. So what we'll do, look, you can see there's quite a lot of goo in the bottom of the hole, and there's probably been some repairs and things. So what I'll do is I'll clean that all up. I'll probably take the engine out and clean up all inside there. I don't know if the servos work. We can work that out. And yeah, we just have a nice life, really. I wish I would stop doing that. filling it up. Right, we've got, that should be enough nitro in there now for that to pick that up, I would have thought. Let's put that tank back in there. We'll have, I can hear you, you're all screaming, and you keep screaming at the screen, you know. You're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong. Okay, okay. You only have to tell me a couple of times, because I can't hear you. I can't hear you at all. Right, just had to answer the telephone. Right, we're back. What was we doing? I can't remember what we were doing. Talking to John. John. Who is John? Look at this. This is amazing, isn't it? I'll tell you what, the memories playing around with this brings back. Outstanding. Out of this world memories. Sometimes I wish I could go back to being a teenager, but would that really be as exciting as I think? Probably not. I don't know. Right. Here we go again. Does make you wonder if that's the right way round, really, doesn't it? Open that up and that's cock. See what happens now. Well, it seems to run reasonable, but it don't like running for very long, does it? That could be because we've got a blockage in our carburetor. We could have a bit of a blocked jet, or we could have just a bit of rubbish found its way into the carb, into that little inlet tube. So let's poke that underneath that cable tie. It just so happens I've got a little bit of air here because I was just cleaning out something else earlier on, so we should better just blow that through there a little bit. Not too much because we don't want to blow anything apart. That's all falling apart. That can't be good, can it? Although we can blow a little bit of... Ooh. No, I won't do that. I'm going to get nitro everywhere. Done that before. Got nitro all over the lens. No one told me. No one said, Orinoco, you've got nitro on the lens. We can't see you. It's all blurry. No one said a word. No one said a word. So you're all sitting there. Everything was blurry. No one said anything. Yeah, I know. I think you're all nuts, to be honest. But see, that's a... Yeah. It's a funny way to have that. I reckon that pipe's been... I don't know if that's... It might be the right way around. That little bit of plastic there. Who knows? Johnny Bongy. Right, here we go. Yeah, something's telling me that there's a blockage in that carburetor. There's definitely a blockage in that carburetor. Unless that needle is turned all the way in. Which has happened before, and I'm sure some of you would remember when that happened on several cars. Oh yeah, it won't run, won't it? Well, now we know why. Yeah, I think that's... Carburetor's blocked. We've got probably a bit of jelly or something in that inlet, so we might have to take the engine out and see if we can get it to, well, we will get it to unblock, no doubt about it. I don't know if it is actually. Because that has gone, it's almost as if it's flooded a bit now. We'll try one more time and we will have to revisit. One more time and we'll have to revisit. Right. We'll revisit it and see what we can do with it. So there we go. One amazing Kyosho Airstreak 500 GP. I think these were actually quite rare in the UK. I'm not really sure. I don't recall ever seeing anybody with one out on any pond or anywhere I'd ever been. There was always other different ones, and a lot of them were wooden ones that people had just sort of scratch built and put little engines in and done stuff. So yeah, I was quite intrigued when I see this one come up on eBay, which is really why it kind of attracted me to it a little bit, because I knew of Airstreaks, but I've never seen one up close because I thought they were quite rare in the UK. But maybe I was wrong. I mean, who really knows? I'll have to get a receiver to put in it, and well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I won't bother with any of that. In the next video, we'll have the engine out, we'll have the tank out, we'll have the servos out. Might even be able to slide the prop out, I'm not really sure, we'll see. And what we'll do is we'll give it a good old clean up inside there. We'll give the engine a clean up, we'll clean up the pull start so that it works properly. We'll clean out the carburetor so that it isn't blocked, because it's definitely blocked at the moment. And yeah, see if I can find a bit of a better stand for it, so I don't really want to ruin this one because it goes with my other boat there. I've just kind of borrowed it and I don't really want to ruin it, because it will do. It will get nitro all over it and then I'll ruin it and I'll probably break it. So yeah, and the lid is in reasonable condition. It's got a bit of a crack at the front. It's obviously faded. A little bit of a crack at the back, but that all seems alright. Don't know how watertight it will be nowadays, but a lot of the trouble used to be, well, on any of the boats that I've ever come across, if you get a bit too much water sort of go over the top, it would make its way in, and then before you know it, you're sitting really low on the water. You have to get it back to shore and tip all the water out. But don't know whether that happens to these ones, but we'll find out. Anyway, thanks for watching, you lot. I'll catch you on the next one. We do know that the engine does run reasonably well, so as I say, we'll get it running properly and we'll have a bit of water near it next time so we can run it for longer. Well, we'll better get it running longer anyway, because we'll unblock the carburetor. If you like this sort of thing, think about sticking around, because this is what I do. I specialise in getting old nitro and petrol RC cars running again. I like to find the old shed finds, the barn finds, the loft finds, the ones that have been forgotten about for God knows how long, and getting them going, getting all the cobwebs off and seeing what's the matter with them. Old engines are the best thing to play around with and get going. I thoroughly enjoy it, so this is what I do. So if you like this sort of thing, think about sticking around, and hopefully you'll enjoy the series on this little Airstreak 500, because I think it's going to be a great little boat when we get it out on the river. Out on the river? There is no rivers. Out on the water. That's what I meant to say. And I'll tell you what we'll have to do. Fuck off. We'll have to stick a bit of string on the back of this tug and do something so that if this one decides it's going to give up in the middle of the water, I'm going to get the dinghy out. I can just sail up with the tugboat, attach it somehow, I don't know how yet, flip it over or do something, bit of something that can fall off, don't know yet, ain't worked that out, and then I can just tow it back using my little thing on the front there. We call it Haggard's Boat Rescue Services. I don't know. Anyway, I'll catch you later on. All the best, you lot. Take care. Love life, because that's what we're here to do.